Hey everyone, YK here. So today's video is a little bit different. So this is going to be my POV of how I capture a sport event. So this sport event in particular is Lion Dance. So these are my good friends at HongDe Lion and Dragon Dance Association. They are the female troupe, which I've known them for quite some time, and I've even made a few videos and photos. You can go check them out on my socials. So this is a little bit different from what I'm usually doing because I'm showing you how I capture this kind of sport events. So please bear with me with the quality, please bear with it. I'm using an old GoPro Hero 5. So yeah, that's donkey years old. I know we are already at the 13. So in terms of equipment that I'm using a Nikon Z8 with a 24-120 f4 and a Viltrox 16mm 1.8. So the Viltrox is very useful in getting, the wide angle shots where you see later, and the 24-120 is that's what I mainly use for capturing most moments. The best lens for this kind of scenario really depends. So in this kind of sporting like Lion Dance, you don't usually have access to the field of play. So a 7200 will actually be the best bet here. Once again, my previous photos were all taken at 7200 like a few years back, so you can go and take a look at them. But since I'm using 24-120, it's a respectable range. I guess most people will have a standard zoom somewhere around that range anyways. So you can see how I shoot the images and you can, learn from it, I guess. So I'll fast forward to some sections and then the rest of the performance I'll just interject in from time to time. As you can see now, I'm actually taking that group shot. I'm using the Viltrox 16mm 1.8 because it's very wide angle. It allows me to get, compositions that normally people can't really get for 24mm. So as you see, I'm going down low angle to shoot from beneath, to shoot up. Try to get their, the team spirit in a sense. Only do this if you know the troop though, so don't just barge in. Okay, please be, please be courteous, and only do this really if you're good friends with them. What can I at least ask? So I've gotten that shot. I shot a quick video clip also. So now I'm running back to change my lens. So I'm changing to a 24-120 as 16 is really too wide for general sports. So yeah. I'm asking them whether I can put my lens over to safe keep with them, since I didn't want to go back to my bag. And so in this case, they are kind and they're happy with it. Please do not leave your equipment unattended. Okay, warning. There are people who have kicked over my equipment here and there, so you do need to be careful where you place them. So in terms of settings, I'm mostly at 1/800 to 1/1000 second at f4 with auto ISO, exposure compensation. So exposure compensation is it changes how your camera perceives the overexposure. So if it's a plus, it means I'm taking the camera to expose for that plus amount. So if I do like plus 1.0, I want the camera to expose at plus 1.0 exposure. So in this case, it's quite useful because as you can see, everywhere surrounding me is all light and everything will be quite dark, especially your subjects. So sometimes you do have to overexpose to compensate for the light to ensure that your subject is bright enough to be seen. And in this case, my troupe is using a black color lion costume. That makes it even harder to see details, so have to overexpose. Shutter speed should be fast enough to capture the moment. You could do slow shutter at like 1/50th, 1/30th, but in this case I wasn't really planning to because this is traditional Lion Dance competition standard where it's not on the poles where the poles are linear, so it's a lot easier in a sense to get those kind of panning and slow shutter shots. It's possible, but in my case I didn't really want to do it. So the advantage of using a zoom over a prime is really you can get all the distance covered. So I can zoom in, I can zoom out, I can get my tight and my wide shots. So this is something that a lot of people don't realize. They every time think, oh, I need a prime lens to shoot all this. Because you know, there's a lot of background blur or bokeh as they call it. So in fact, to get that kind of bokeh, you can just zoom in and you know, the separation will actually be increased by zooming in. So as you can see, I'm actually zooming in quite a lot to get really those detailed shots, quite a nice blur background. This competition area, I didn't really like the background, so you can see it's really quite messy. There's light spraying in from everywhere, and as you will see later, yeah, it's really a mess. I mean, still can get a good shot, but yeah. So you need to, you know, get all your jump shots. You can see as they jump up, I zoom in to get a shot of them, you know, in the air, and I zoom out to get a full lion in the picture. So for this kind of competitions, if you do know their routine, which I do know beforehand, as you can see, I've messaged them and asked them to show me the whole routine so I can plan out where I should be. If not, you just try your best to follow where the action is. So here I'm actually anticipating their signature move, but it's gonna take a while. So with all that saying, I'd like to say some reminders. Please do not try to step into the field of play and even the barricaded areas unless you're one of the official photographers. Or if they're kind, in this case, I'm not the official, but they let me in. So yeah. Always try your best to not disrupt anything. As you can see in sport events, I don't use flash. No flash is allowed. And so yeah, here's the signature move. That's nice. So yeah, I'm running to get to the next angle to try to shoot. This is one of the shoots that I always try to get. I always try to get all the other elements. So for example, when I'm shooting a race, I try to get the race officials and you know, the athletes or the spectators and you know, the athletes together. Try your best to get them. So this is with the percussion, the instrumentals, the cymbals, the drums, and the lion costume. All in one shot. I have some photos that are nicer from Chinatown. You can go take a look at that. So as you can see, it's quite dark. I'm trying to overexpose. You can see my exposure combination now plus 1.3. Because you can see right behind the lion costume is all white. And if I chose to expose to the background, there will be too much shadows. You must always remember this. Expose for your subject. Don't expose for the background. Unless you're doing landscape, then you know, it's subjective. But for me, I always like to overexpose and compensate for the subject itself so that I can get my shots. Here I am just shooting video. The Z8 has shutter angle recently. So yeah, I'm just trying it. But I was too shaky with the video, so whatever. Just another tip, to go down as low as you can. The low angle always likes to add a bit more, you know, it adds more dynamic to your photo in a sense that there's an angle upwards. So in some sporting events like track and field, it will actually look kind of sick, especially with like long jump, you know, or like what is it called? I'm sorry, I forgot it. Yeah, the hurdles, yeah. You jump over the hurdles. You can do from a lower angle. It sometimes looks quite cool. So I haven't shot athletics in quite a while. Been quite busy. So I'm now running over to the next location, trying to find an opening. once again going quite low angle. I'm getting some shots with the lion and once again the percussion all together. Must get multiple elements. You must always remember that in all these kind of events, it's not just the subject or the athlete, there's many other factors. So try your best to capture the moments around it. By the way, in this case, I'm really only spraying and praying because I really couldn't see that well with the very bright outdoors. I mean, yes, I could have changed the brightness of my camera, but yes, please do not keep holding down the shutter button like what you see me doing here. I don't usually do that anyways nowadays. It's just only this time it was this, I just wanted to get the shot. I mean, you can always do that, but you just have to know how to cull the photos later. So yeah. Burger King. Definitely not a sponsor for the competition, but yeah, that's the kind of backgrounds I have. What to do. Just to let you know, most of the things I shoot now is more journalism based. I am not allowed to do much of any AI post editing, so I can't do simply this replace background. That thing doesn't exist. So if the background is very messy, so be it. I have to leave it in. Okay, you do not want your photos going up all the way that high, and then after it gets you into so much trouble because you used AI to artificially edit or replace. Usually when I do editing, I only try to remove some of the irritating things. For example, like try to smoothen out human skin. Try to change your color balance, white balance. Try to play around a bit with the colors, but nothing too extreme. That's the way I do it. In other cases like wildlife, removing bunches and stuff, may be quite useful. You want a clean shot of the animals, and if you can't get it, some people would. I'm the kind who really wouldn't, so it's personal preference. But sports, action, journalism, events, try your best not to, unless you're allowed to. So here I am walking back to the their final ending post. I know of it once again from their WhatsApp, my conversation with them. I could tell that that's where they will be at the end. So yeah, just camp there and get a shot. So now we are already at the end, and I'm just gonna try my best to get some shots of them. I shoot whatever I can. If I miss anything, there's always the next time for it. Be happy with what you've gotten. That's the life advice I can give. There's many people who want to do a lot, want to achieve a lot, but you need to know you can dream big, start small. So work your way up. Don't just I mean, there's a lot of people who can get those goals up. It's not impossible, but you should take small steps to achieve your goal. So be happy with the photos you've taken. They may not be the best, like in this case they're also not the best work I've done, but I'm quite happy. I get to support my favorite team, I get to be there, and get to watch all the action unfold. Just gonna be shooting the behind the scenes, like at the very end of them, facing, the rest of the spectators and the judges. Also, I'm gonna shoot from right behind. Since they are the troop that I support, I'll just take a few group photos for them. I just ask them to, gather one side for me, and then I'll just bring out my flash. So Goldog's V1, I'm just going to point directly at them. So because this is I have nothing to bounce off of, and I want it to be a little bit contrasty, I just straight up fire. So yeah. And that's about it. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have learned a bit from seeing how I shoot. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I'll definitely try to make more of such videos. I have a lot of more interesting videos in the works, so bear with me. I'm just doing whatever I can to make great content. So yeah. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.